Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics Basketball Edition. Again, joined by head women's coach Kyle Cooper. Coach, it's always nice when we have these shows after we're coming off a couple wins.
Absolutely.
So I liked how I switched it up last week. Let's go with most recent first.
Okay. Yeah, so we go on the road to Wesleyan and get a win down there and played really, really well. I thought holistically as a team we were good, both sides of the basketball, the different execution points of the game, shared the ball really well, and I thought overall it was good, and we hold them to 35 points, which is pretty off the charts. So,
well, the 35 points, and I don't think you have this document shared with you. Former colleague Don Clegg did some research over the weekend. He emailed it. Did you see that?
I was able to see it, and we actually, Cassie was attempting to try to get all the details, and we wanted to confirm because what she found was similar.
Yes, so there hasn't been a lot of games of 35 or fewer, one or two, but pretty good defensive effort. I had a chance. We were hosting our wrestling tournament, the NBC wrestling tournament here, so one of the few games that I missed in person. Did you have an opportunity to listen to the broadcast?
I have not listened to it yet, but I heard that the announcers were off the charts as far as just some charisma and some personality that made the broadcast a lot of fun. So, no, I kind of immediately shifted gears to this week, but I've heard a lot of interesting and good things.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you didn't have a chance to follow the stream, see if you can look that up. Go on demand on Blue Frame.
I believe Corinne Thomas has some new fans.
Yes.
She signed some autographs after the game, maybe even got proposed to. I'm not sure.
Student announcers, and they're international kids. So it actually was a pretty entertaining broadcast. So shout out to that crew. They made the game fun. But you went down there, and let's just talk about Corinne real quick. Suffered the injury in the first game.
Yeah.
Missed considerable time. Whatever cliche you want to use, trying to get her legs under her a little bit. But
sure.
Boy, she came up big Saturday.
Yeah, and I think we've seen her continue to progress and trend up, and she definitely had her bounce back. She looked like, the Corinne that Corinne's worked to become in our program and our system, and that is so much bigger than just the threes that she hit. Now, yes, she was on fire, shot the ball off the charts. It's the other stuff, too. It's the rebounding. It's the getting our offense moving in flow. It's the defense and the IQ, and she checked all those boxes. And in turn, when she's doing those things, we're a lot better team beyond even scoring.
Yeah, so good to see her have kind of a statement breakthrough game.
For sure.
Of course, she wasn't the only one. When you win at the margin that we won, there's a lot of kids that played well that day, but a job well done. And we've talked several times, and I talk on a broadcast a lot, that even when you think there's easy games in this conference, sometimes they don't turn out easy. Just ask Wheeling University,
right,
coming off of the big win last week, and then Wesleyan travels to Wheeling and beats them.
Right.
So every team's dangerous, but you went down, focused kids, focused team, focused coaching staff. We get a win. So let's backtrack to the previous Wednesday. Talk a little bit about that game.
Yeah, you talk about kind of how teams are going to react to different situations, and you're coming off that Wheeling game on the prior Saturday, and I thought our team really bounced back. There was points of the game against Davis Nelkins on Wednesday that were messy, but overall played really, really well. And then it was nice to see us transition to Wesleyan and clean some of those things up, because as a former coach, sometimes when there's a large margin of victory, everyone thinks everything was perfect, and we know that that's not always the case. So I was really proud of the way we handled things Wednesday coming off Wheeling, and took care of business that game.
Yeah, absolutely took care of business. And sometimes it is nice to actually get a couple games under your belt where things go your way,
right,
and you're not sweating it out as a head coach,
sure,
sitting over there with 5 minutes to go wondering, how's this thing going to turn out?
Yep.
So two really, really impressive wins, one at home, one on the road. But, boy, life doesn't get any easier for you.
No, tremendous challenge ahead of us as we look ahead to this next week and even this next 10 to 14 days. And February we've continually trended up as a program, and we need to continue to do that because we have a tremendous challenge this week.
Yeah, that you talk about kind of let's use the word gauntlet.
Yes.
So let's talk.
Very fair.
Wednesday,
Wednesday we go to West Virginia State, who is one of the hottest teams in the country. They did suffer a setback last week, but playing really, really well. And they've been one of the teams that's been consistent, and that's one of the things we're seeing across the country, regionally, and in conference. Who can put it together consistently, not stub their toe along the way, and they've done that. So for them, it's a team that they're top 2 in scoring, top 2 in turnovers forced, number 1 in the country in rebounding, and 25 O-boards a game. So there's no secret to their recipe right now. They want to take a lot more shots than you, and they want to dictate the game. And we obviously want to dictate it a very different way. So it's 2 teams with different MOs, and they're going to have the home court advantage. We need to go down there and be really focused and play well.
Right. Well, the good thing, if you're a fan of up and down basketball, fast break basketball, you're going to see a lot of that Wednesday night, because State likes to play the pressure game. And the one stat that you brought up is how many offensive rebounds they average a game. And I talk about this on the air all the time when we play State or Glenville. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that you're going to get pressed. Everybody knows that the opponent may shoot a ton of threes, or they're going to try to get to the rim. Right. People forget the missing ingredient to that whole system is how many second chance opportunities they get.
For sure, and that allows them to not always, on an inefficient night offensively, when you take 15 to 25 more shots than the other team, you're still going to have the advantage to win, and that's been a mark of what they've done this year consistently.
Right. So then not only do you have to go to what will appear to be a regionally ranked squad in West Virginia State, right. Saturday you travel to.
Or Saturday we're at home. Against Charleston, and it's a big one. It's a big one, and we're going to celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports that day, which is a great opportunity for people to come out and then meet our team with a meet and greet after. But that's a huge game. It's another huge game. It's a game that we know played really 2 different games down there at their place, and that showed in the outcome, unfortunately. But we're a better basketball team since then, and I do feel good about this week and what we have ahead of us. But Charleston will be another tremendous challenge. And like I said last time on the show, I think when it comes to this week and these 2 opponents, 2 very different styles. So you're gearing your team up for one thing, and then you got to immediately, no matter the outcome, shift them into a frame of a different game.
Right. So this is going to be a big week, because Wheeling, the so-called travel partner with us, they play the same opponents, right?
Correct, yep.
So there's a lot riding on conference standings, regional implications, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be a very interesting week. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. Delayed school today because of road conditions, so Thanks for getting in here and able to do this. But
we appreciate it. This
wraps up the first section of Inside Hilltopper Athletics, and we'll come back with head men's coach Ben Hallett.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Kyle Cooper. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn.
Welcome back, Inside Hilltopper Athletics. We got a little bit of surprise here. I had teased that we were going to do the normal with head coach Ben Hallett, but we're actually bringing in an outstanding young man who's way funnier than Coach Hallett, by the way.
Appreciate that.
So this is Mike Lamberti, assistant coach, former star player here on some great teams. So, Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate you having me on.
And I do have to get this out because he asked. We're not going to spend all the time talking about his wife. We actually are. Mike is married to one of my former standouts, Emily Bucon Lamberti. So we'll leave the Emily discussion to another time. So let's quickly review the last 2 games, and we're going to start with the most recent. Just quick thoughts on the game down at West Virginia Wesleyan.
Down at West Virginia Wesleyan was a lot of good stuff. We came out with a substantial victory points-wise, but just the energy was really, really good. It's always hard to go on the road here in the conference. Wesleyan's been struggling here a little bit, but they do have some quality wins against other opponents in our league. So just to see our guys come out with energy, we went 11 or 12 deep, and everybody contributed in their own way. And that's kind of been our focus the last 7 days since the Wheeling game, Saturdays back. We want our energy to be different, playing with a different type of speed, and I think we've been showcasing that really well.
Right, and that's the thing. Hilltopper Nation is so accustomed, because when you watch about 15 years of this, they just think it's automatic. You roll the ball out, you win.
Sure.
I don't think your average person, even if you've watched it for 15 years, understands the mental toll that it takes to be able to play at that pace and to be that disciplined on the defensive end. And you are going to see slippage at times. Would you agree?
Definitely, yeah. And complacency is a word we use sometimes when talking with our guys. And when you have success and win 8, 9 games in a row, and you're used to doing this when we get here in the fall, when you move in for school and open gyms, and it just the toll of months and months and months of doing it every single day. Some days you have a slippage. Some days you're not playing as hard as you possibly can. But that's our jobs as coaches, to make sure these guys are ready night in and night out. And we know we have a pretty big target on our back when we go and play everybody. With the success we've had over the last 15 years, like you talk about.
Let's go way back, because I think this happened when you were a player here, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. But
Oh boy.
let's talk how the platoon system started.
Sure.
Give us the backstory on that.
The coaching staff just came together with the idea of, if you have your mindset that you're going to play only a certain time period, like our coaching staff says, you're going to play from the 20-minute mark to the 17:30 mark, and no matter what the score is, whether you're up 10, down 10, tie game, you're coming out and you have 5 new fresh bodies coming in to replace you. You kind of have that mentality in the back of your mind to just think, okay, well, if I'm going to get a rest, I know I can play as hard as I possibly can. I don't have the uncertainty of when's my next water break coming or when can I get a cool down. So we did start that, I think, my 3rd year here in the 2013-14 season, and it's worked. We've seen some times where, if our starters are only going 60%, they're not as nearly as good as our reserves coming in who are playing 100%. And when you can throw 10 bodies, 11 bodies at the opponents when they're only playing 6 or 7 guys, our system takes a toll on them. It might not happen until the first media or the second media or not till halftime, but for us to throw 10 bodies fresh as possibly can, playing at 100%, it's going to wear down on the other team. And we like our depth and the way we practice hard every day, and it's been successful for us.
Okay, so this is a great segue. Let's go back to Wednesday night's home game versus Davis and Elkins, and let's talk about the impact that the second rotation unit brought to that game.
It was like letting the Bulldogs out of the cage a little bit. Some guys like Dante Spadafora, Finn Woodward, Alec West, Austin Webb, and Chaz Hines, Zach Russell. Those guys, if you look at their plus minuses, you have plus 27, plus 30, plus 30. Some nights, it might be the second platoon. Some nights the first platoon gets you off to a really good start. But that Davis and Elkins game, it was a really main focus after losing that Wheeling game. We have 2 days of preparation where we were only playing 7 or 8 guys for a couple of games. We're going back to the blueprint here. We're going to sub 5 guys in at that 17:30 mark, and Coach Allen was a man of his word, and those guys came in. And they didn't just do it for those first 2.5 minutes. They did it for the 15 to 20 minutes that they played. And it wasn't just making shots. A couple of those guys had some of their best shooting games of their season so far, but you see guys running down guys from behind and getting back taps, and you're getting extra possessions, diving after loose balls, high-fiving each other if some of your teammates scoring. So the energy they brought, I think, it lifted up our first platoon. And then you go down to West Virginia Wesleyan and you look at the first platoon's plus minuses, and it's in the 20s and 30s. So, and the second platoon didn't have that great of a scoring success down at Wesleyan. So we're thinking if we can combine those 2 forces of what happened at D&E with the second platoon and the West Virginia Wesleyan with the first platoon, we combine those this week, we're going to be in good shape.
If it was only that easy. So anyway, 2 pretty much games that we had our way.
Sure.
And I even talked to Coach Cooper because they won 2 games pretty easily as well. It is nice as a coach sometimes that happens, so you're not stressed out.
Yeah.
And you finally get to relax a little bit. Doesn't get any easier, so let's quickly talk about this week's opponent. We travel tomorrow night to West Virginia State.
Yeah. It's never easy, like I just said earlier in here, going on the road in the Mountain East. Wednesday, you're going to leave in the morning and get down there for a 1-day travel and play at 7:30 at night. And State's struggling a little bit right now. They're on a 4-game losing streak, but at one point they were sitting at 15 or 16-1 in the conference, overall, top 15 team in the country, and they have the talent to beat anybody, and not just in our league, but in the country. And they took us to the buzzer last game at home. Bryce had that great shot in the first matchup, and it was a 2-point game. So we know we're going to get their best fight. We know they're focusing, and being on a 4-game losing streak, they need a win really, really bad. So I think our guys are focused. They know the magnitude of this game and the importance it has regionally and conference-wise. But we just need to go out and play a hard 40 minutes, whether you're playing 40 seconds or 40 minutes. If we have that mentality of, all right, you're going to play to exhaustion, and then your buddy's going to come in and play the same way when he subs in for you, we like our chances. So it's a really big game. We're sitting one game atop the MEC conference standings right now, and we're going to hopefully come back home with a victory.
All right, well, let's talk also about Saturday, because that's quite a test as well.
Charleston, the team we faced in the MEC championship game last year in the tournament. Coach Osborne does a great job. It's kind of contrasting styles a little bit. When you play state, it's going to be more of an up and down game with 5-out motion offense where not a lot of sets are going to be called. A lot of players making decisions. Where Charleston, they like running sets every time up and down the court, and sometimes slow it down a little bit, sometimes they can get up and down, but two really, really good opponents in state and Charleston this week. So whatever happens down at Institute tomorrow, we're going to have a short memory, enjoy it if it's a win, or if it's a loss, we have to have short memories and learn from it and get ready for another big opponent. You're playing a team that's tied for second in the conference on Saturday, and a team that's top 3 or 4 in the standings as well. So it's a really, really big week.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Inside Hilltopper Athletics. Coach Lamberti, thanks for joining us. And I promise we're going to get the assistants back for learn a little bit more about them in another episode. But thanks for joining in. Please tune in and watch the game at State, and then come join us up on the Hilltop one Saturday. Thank you.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Ben Hallett. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Hi, my name is Oceana Smith. I'm a community arts major at West Liberty University, and today I'm going to show you what it's like to be in my program. So starting off today, we're going to go into my CEP practicum class.
So what I would like us to do today is the creation of a button. So if you had to create your own button reflecting your practicum experience so far, what would it say and why?
Some of the best parts of the program so far have been the friends that I made and the experiences we get to share both on and off of campus. Because it's a growing program, the community arts majors are very close-knit, as well as the entirety of the community education program. So it's great to be sharing these experiences with people that I call friends rather than just a classroom full of students. I would encourage others to consider community arts because you don't have to know what you want your future to look like at first. There is a lot of room to explore and grow in this program in order to find your perfect fit in terms of career path. It's designed to have flexibility and the ability to be tailored to your personal interests. And the coordinating director, Dr. Miriam Roth Douglas, is an amazing educator and passionate about the success of her students. My little pin just says creativity lives everywhere. At my practicum site at the Stifle Center, I've been really pushed to develop my creativity on my own. And then I just put some cute little decorations around it just because I felt like it. Now we're heading into my community empowerment and engagement class.
We'll do a little warm-up, a brainstorm competition regarding some of the things we've worked on in our previous session. I would like to see which group is able to write down the most ideas and concepts in 90 seconds. So.
The community arts program at West Liberty is based on a lot of problem and project-based learning. Rather than standard tests, we get to apply the information we learn in class to problems and projects in the community. Our most recent project has been with Grow Ohio Valley in downtown Wheeling. Their mission is focused around food security and food sovereignty, a problem that Wheeling has been struggling with for a long time. Our job this semester is to come up with possible community projects that can go into the 17th Street building that they recently purchased and are trying to transform it into some kind of community center that will really benefit downtown Wheeling and meet the needs that the Wheeling area has. So now we're in the Arts and Ed Center. to work on my scale model project. On campus, we have the Center for Arts and Education. I think it's one of the best resources that we have here at West Liberty. It comes into play a lot in the community arts program, as you can imagine. The Center for Arts and Education is a makerspace that we have here on campus, where you have access to sustainable found materials and creative elements to help craft projects. It's also a great area for creatives to go and work on their passion projects. In one of my CEP classes, we currently have a group project going on. We are working on a scale model for our proposed ideas to go into the 17th Street building at Grow Ohio Valley. For our project, we hope to create a space for locals selling product to connect with graphic designers in order to design and create packaging and branding for their products. And we also want to leave room to work in internship opportunities for West Liberty's VCD program. Now we're at the Stifel Center for Fine Arts for my off-campus practicum in Wheeling. Currently, I am doing my off-campus practicum with the Stifel Fine Arts Center. It is a community art center that acts as a gallery as well as an art hub for local artists. They also offer classes and art workshops to the public, but currently they are having their holiday art show and sale. And it was a really great learning experience to be able to be involved in the setup of that. I chose this program because when I came to West Liberty, I didn't really have a clear picture of what I wanted to do, except that I love the arts and I wanted to be in a position where I could surround myself by the arts and other artists. When I finish my degree, I hope to work in some kind of community art center, a gallery, or an art museum. Ultimately somewhere that I can continue working on my craft as well. Thanks for checking out the Community Arts Program. For more information, go to our website.
Hi everybody, my name is Max Kellis. I'm a junior here at West Liberty and I'm a general business student. Today I'm going to show you what it's like to be in this program. We're heading into my first class today, which is going to be management.
We were looking at organizational structure and culture. So last class we actually focused on how organization assess their environment, right?
The general business program at West Liberty is honestly a great experience. It prepares business students for the real world, and there's everything from management classes to international business to marketing and any sort of, sect of business that anyone would want to go into, West Lib offers. I think that the relationship between the teachers and the students is really unique. Because of our smaller class sizes, the teachers are able to give students a more one-on-one personal experience, and I think that's really tailored towards the student, to benefit the students. Another unique thing about West Liberty's business program is they actually offer all the classes online, so you can either choose whenever you're registering for your classes, you can choose some online classes, some in person, or you can do all of one or all of the other, and that makes it great, I think, for students. I've been commuting this semester, so it's been a little bit more difficult, so the online classes have definitely made that easier. I'm headed into my second class for today, which is Intro to General Business with Miss Rocchio.
We're going to continue with chapter 3, which is the different ways that you can start small businesses.
Somebody should definitely consider a general business degree at West Liberty. It definitely leaves a lot of doors open, a lot of possibilities. I personally chose general business because I wasn't exactly 100% sure what I wanted to do with my life, and I wanted to stay kind of closer to my hometown of Wheeling. After I graduate, I could probably go into any field I'd like to. I hope to go into marketing and do marketing for some sort of company. I think I'm good with people. I like to talk to people. So those are my specific aspirations. Now we're heading into my advising session with my advisor, Dr. Chen.
This semester, how many credit hours are you having?
15.
15, okay. How do you feel?
I feel good. Something really special about the advising here on West Liberty's campus is the one-on-one interaction between the advisor. I had previously talked about the teacher-student interaction, which is fantastic. It gives students a very individual learning experience, but it's the same exact thing with the advisors. My advisor is Miss Chen, and anytime that I have issues scheduling or issues with my major or honestly anything, I reach out to her in an email and she gets back to me, and we honestly, every time I've reached out to her, we meet the next day. She's there to help me with my schedule, to help me with my classes or anything I need, honestly. And I really think that's special for a college to be able to have such a personal experience with your advisor. Since it's a beautiful day, I'm gonna meet the guys out on the quad and play a game of cornhole. In terms of extracurricular programs on campus, I'm also a member of KDK, a local frat on campus. KDK is only here at West Liberty. We're not nationally recognized, which I think is good because it gives us more of a sense of community. And growing up in Wheeling, I have always been a homebody, and I've loved my community. And through KDK, we're able to help our community with different outreach programs. It's nice to be more community driven, as West Lib is. Thank you all for tuning in. If you guys would like some more information, feel free to check out our website.
Hi, my name is Claire Kelly and I'm a microbiology major here at West Liberty, and I want to show you what it's like to be in this program. First off, we're going to head into biological chemistry with Dr. Schmidt.
Now, in looking at the reaction that leads to the formation of this bond, we see that water is released. Does anyone know what kind of reaction this would be where water gets released?
The microbiology program is a really interesting program that prepares you for a wide range of future career paths within the biological sciences. Outside of the required courses, there are really interesting electives that you get to choose from that you wouldn't really get the opportunity elsewhere. For example, I took a fluorescence microscopy course with Dr. Orzempa, where we had full access to a research-grade fluorescence microscope and assisted Dr. Orzempa on research he'd been working on. So I chose this major as microbiology was always a subject that I was really interested in school, and I wanted to learn more about it. After I graduate, I want to continue further studies within the field of medical microbiology, researching diseases caused by microorganisms. Next, we're heading into analytical chemistry with Dr. Swartz.
So it becomes, right, how do you handle all those different errors? You guys learned the rules of synthesis back in Gen Chem.
This major is good for others to consider because it provides you with a comprehensive knowledge on the biological sciences. It prepares you for a variety of future career paths. Many go on to apply for med school, PA school or PT school, or postgraduate studies in microbiology. In addition to that, with the skills you learn in the labs throughout the major, you are also very employable for work in a lab setting. So now I'm going to head into the lab and work on some of my research projects. There are so many research opportunities available as an undergrad, both working with professors and conducting independent research. I work with Dr. Schmidt's lab, researching a novel family of antibiotics called rhizazomycins, and how one Francisella tularensis gene in particular plays a role in rhizazomycin susceptibility. It is really unique to have these opportunities, as usually you wouldn't get to do this work until postgraduate studies. Having this experience really gives you a leg up when applying to various graduate programs and jobs. Students in the microbiology program are incredibly lucky with the professors in the biology department. Every single one of them really cares about the success of their students and are very passionate about the subjects they teach. With the small class sizes, they really get to know each and every student and are there to help you when you need it. I'm also on the women's soccer team here at West Lib, and now it's time for practice. Being a student athlete here at West Liberty has been an incredible experience. It definitely comes with its challenges of time management and juggling both college work and training, but there's a lot of support on both sides to make it work. Being a student athlete here means becoming part of the community, and being far away from home, as I'm from Ireland, is really important for me. West Liberty really has become a home away from home. Thanks for checking out the program with me today. For more information, look at our website.
Whether you're a recent high school graduate or looking to complete a college degree later in life, starting your educational career at West Liberty University will be the catalyst for your future. Start your journey at westliberty.edu.